What's up? It's Marv of the Minds Ahead podcast. And for today, I'm going to be giving my perspective on the Lakers versus the Warriors game for game three. So let's dive into it. But first, I want you guys to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the channel, show your support. I have about 60 plus episodes on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple, and about 20 plus episodes on YouTube. So today's episode is going to be a short take. It's going to be about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes long. So let's dive into it. So the Warriors, they were going through a huge mayhem of calls getting ran their way. Okay. They were having a whole lot of foul trouble issues. I'm not going to say that this was the main reason why they lost, but it was definitely a huge part of their loss because the game was continuously being stopped from flowing. But the first thing I'm going to dive into is some of the bigger reasons for why they lost. So the first person I'm going to go at is Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, he played horrific in that game. I believe he was like 4 for 14. He had 6 turnovers. And it's crazy is because, he's quote unquote from LA and, he wanted to do it for Kobe and Gigi and not necessarily for his team. Listen, I don't understand why everybody wants to continuously, just give praise to Kobe Bryant and Gigi. I understand that, they passed and stuff like that. And it definitely was an unfortunate event that happened. But it's just going way too overblown, in my opinion. Now, I definitely understand that, this is Klay Thompson's hometown, kind of, because his father played for the Lakers, and Klay Thompson, he grew up a Lakers fan and stuff like that. And I also want to say his brother and some of his classmates were there. So I can understand that. But as far as him, saying that this is for Kobe, this game is for Kobe and Gigi, you don't need to dedicate the game to them. Because then after that, you just place expectations on your game to be well. And then you ended up playing terrible. And in my opinion, I just don't think that, Kobe should be continuously brought up in this type of light when it comes to their accident, even though I understand how tragic it was. I think it's just too repetitive, especially on social media. I have seen people just continuously post him on Instagram story and stuff like that. And, it was 3 years ago when the situation happened. Again, like I said, it's definitely tragic, but to me, that's just not something I want to hear all the time. I can understand if you do it, sometimes and stuff like that, but you know, if anything, what I'll say when it comes to Kobe is, he definitely was one of the greatest players ever, and I respected his game. And but at the same time, what I'll say is that I had a father, and he played basketball, and he was the reason why I even got into basketball. It wasn't necessarily Kobe or anybody else. So to me, Kobe, he never actually taught me anything in terms of how to be a man or things of that nature. And when it comes to Klay Thompson and when it comes to other men as well, they try to treat the Kobe Bryant situation as if he taught them something when it comes to being a man. Klay Thompson, he has a whole father. So that's something that I don't really like as well when it comes to Kobe. Now, I definitely am in a long digression, but that's it. I don't want to continue to give my perspective on that situation, so I'm just going to move on. So Klay Thompson, he had 6 turnovers at one point. He also was throwing a pass from Steph Curry, a bounce pass that was basically right on the money for a layup. Klay Thompson, he turned his head to the other way. He wasn't even looking towards trying to get that layup. And Steph Curry, he was pissed off. You could see it in his facial expression because that is actually the start of the avalanche that happened. Okay, the Warriors, they were up 40-29. Another person who was playing dumb was Jordan Poole. He was 2 for 9 in the last game, in game 3. It was terrible. Okay? I mean, the shots that he takes, I mean, it is so stupid. I mean, I saw him take a shot that was 30 plus feet. And it's like 23 seconds left in the shot clock. For what reason? Why is it that he always has to take the big momentum shot? It's not going to help your team. Might as well just try and go get a layup. Or either shoot a mid-range shot. You're not Steph. And another thing that was kind of crazy was his passing. That was terrible too. I mean, he had 2 very good passes to both Looney and Andrew Wiggins in that game. But to me, I just felt like that was, something that wasn't going to be consistent throughout the whole game. The next thing that was crazy was Draymond Green. Obviously, he is the crazy one out of the whole crew, but Draymond Green, he was on his full display of crazy in this game. I mean, he was constantly complaining. He got himself a tech. I mean, he practically threw the game. I mean, how many times do I have to see Draymond Green help Anthony Davis up? Like, you guys play for the same team. You don't. You do not play for the same team. And he definitely was acting like he was because he definitely did not contribute offensively nor defensively because, he was taken out because of the refs. Now, I'm definitely understanding of why he was definitely angry. But when you decide to get Tex and then Jermichael Green, who is a nobody when it comes to his role, basically, and who played like a nobody in game 3, he ends up getting Tech as well. It was follow the leader during that situation. And that ended up costing the Warriors as well during that situation. So I definitely think that the fact that LeBron James has Draymond Green signed to Clutch Sports is definitely some frenemy type of vibes in there because Draymond Green, he can't seem to act right. In the last series, he was stomping on Sabonis. And he was definitely very physical in that series. In this series, he's not that at all. So when it came to Draymond Green, he was just erratic all over the place like he usually is. But hey, I definitely did predict this. I said this already in the previous short take that I had about Draymond Green. You can go check it out. Now, as far as Steve Kerr, he was terrible as well. His rotations were bad. I mean, he didn't have Jonathan Kuminga play, and I definitely feel like he definitely would have had a huge impact, especially when it came to trying to bother LeBron and also trying to get Anthony Davis to become tired because of his explosiveness. I mean, he's going to be making rim runs, trying to go to the free throw line and stuff like that. And there you go. Next thing you know, it's a game within the game. It's closer. But as far as Dante DiVincenzo, he was bad, terrible. I mean, I think that he went 1 for 5 for the whole game. And you would think that Dante DiVincenzo would have some level of poise in this game, but he definitely didn't have any of that. And, we understand that he definitely does hustle and stuff like that. And he definitely does have his moments. But to me, it just seems like he's more so of a regular season player than a postseason player. Because in the Sacramento series, him and Jordan Poole were terrible. So as far as Steve Kerr, he also started JaMychal Green again. Now we all know that should be over tonight, right? We all know it should be over tonight. We all know that JaMychal Green is probably going to start maybe again in the home playoff game against the Lakers when it's Warriors versus Lakers in the home stadium. But as far as JaMychal playing as a starter, period, I think that should be dead. I can't believe that he decided to do that again, and it definitely didn't work this time because it was some wide open shots that he definitely should have hit. I mean, in my opinion, I think that the only way that the Warriors would have won this game is if Steph had 40 plus points. Now let's get to the ref situation. I was definitely not going to forget about it. So let's dive into it. So, as we all know, at one point in the game, the refs, they was just definitely taking over. I mean, it probably was at least 8 to 10 calls in a row stopping the flow of the game. I mean, to me, I did not understand it. It definitely didn't make any sense. Yes, there is some level of physicality in the game of basketball, but every call, and it's one-sided, that was just too much. I mean, the Lakers, they shot 37 free throws to 6 at one point. And you know what's funny about this whole situation is the Lakers, they are last in the NBA in the playoffs in drives per game. Let that sit on you. How much sense does that make? It doesn't. 37 free throws? I mean, Eddie Griffin, the comedian, he had a problem with it, and he is a Lakers fan, a hardcore Lakers fan. But even he said he doesn't want to win this way. He wants to win fair and square. 37 free throws to 6 at one point. It ended up being 39. And it just slowed up the momentum of the game. Nobody does not want to watch a free throw shooting contest, and it's one-sided. in that way. I mean, in the first game, it was 29-6. The question is how much does LeBron James have on Adam Silver? How much does he have? Because we all know that LeBron James, he's not the same player as he used to be. We know that. Why is the league pushing this so far? That's the question that needs to be asked. I mean, let's just be honest. Who went to go see Space Jam 2 or House Party? By a show of hands. Put your hand down if you did. Look, I know for a fact that I didn't, and I definitely wasn't interested in going to go watch that movie or movies. In the end, LeBron James, he's still trying to chase a ghost of Michael Jordan. Okay? He is. And we all know that ghosts aren't real. So basically, he acknowledges the fact that he's not Michael Jordan. Not only is LeBron James not Michael Jordan for when it comes to the accomplishments as far as his ring count, but also his scoring ability. We all know that it's 10-1 for when it comes to the scoring titles. And also, we all know that LeBron James, he stuck it out for 20 plus 4 years to be able to pass Kareem. And the defense is not close for when it comes to LeBron versus Michael Jordan either. But here's a major factor that people are missing. LeBron James, he does not have any flair with his game. His game is boring. Unlike Michael Jordan's. I mean, Michael Jordan, his game was so swaggy or so cool to watch with so much flair. He had players going bald just for style. I mean, he had Gary Payton going bald, he had Shaq going bald, and he had the ability to grow hair during that time. Kobe went bald. And I want to say Ray Allen went bald also. I mean, Michael Jordan, he made it popular for players in the 90s to all of a sudden just start cutting their hair and go bald. But again, MJ, he had the style and the flair. I mean, he had tremendous footwork. And obviously that poured on to other players wanting to play exactly like him as well. I mean, you have AI, you have Kobe, you have Tracy McGrady. Now, when it comes to LeBron James, in this time, he has not been the face of the NBA. It's been Steph Curry. As a matter of fact, since we're getting to the facts here, Steph Curry since 2015, in 27 games, out of all 27 of those games, he has been the guy to exceed the 14 million mark for when it comes to viewership. Unlike LeBron James. When it comes to players who have got to the 13 million threshold in terms of viewership, Steph Curry, he has appeared in 32 out of the 33 games, unlike LeBron James. So who's the real face of the NBA? It's definitely not LeBron James. And this is since 2015. Another thing that people don't realize is LeBron James, when it comes to his allure and stuff like that, he has basically had the easy way out throughout his whole career. Let's be honest. First, his hair is suspect. The steroid situation, which I'm not going to dive into because this has nothing to do with the game of basketball at this moment, but maybe later on I'll dive into it. The ring situation. I mean, in 2013, if it wasn't for Ray Allen, he would not have that championship. And that would be one of the worst types of situations for him to have to overcome again after just losing to the Mavs in 2011. Now, we all know that he beat the Thunder, but they were babies. In 2016, it was definitely a perfect storm for the Cavs to win that championship. All of the injuries. And then on top of that, the media, they tried to make it seem as if this is the greatest accomplishment to ever happen in finals history. It was a great accomplishment. But what people are missing is the Warriors' injuries, Harrison Barnes playing terrible, and the Draymond Green suspension. All of those things happened around the same time of the Cavs getting their victory. Now, injuries, they happen every year, right? It does. But what people, they try to make it out to be in terms of the propaganda is they will make it seem like this was the greatest team ever assembled. But what about the next season in 2017? You don't do that for that. No, LeBron James, he gets a pass for 2017, even though he was swept twice in the finals. I mean, LeBron James, he's 6'9", 250, right? That's what everybody says. When AI was able to get a game off of the Lakers in 2001, and he's like 5'11", 160 soaking wet. What's the difference? And then on top of that, LeBron James, he also lost in 5 games twice. One of them was in a record margin. And then on top of that, he goes over to the Miami Heat, creates a super team, goes over to the Cavs, creates a super team. And then in 2020, he decided to have the league continue to play basketball despite all of the issues that were happening mentally in terms of the NBA. He wanted to keep the NBA running, and it happened. And the Lakers won. They beat a 5th seed. They went 6 games against the 5th seed. Now, Jimmy Butler, he definitely was otherworldly. But at the same time, it shouldn't have gone 6 games. Probably should have gone out in 5, possibly a sweep. They had the far better roster. So LeBron James, he's always had the easy way out throughout his whole career. And of course, he's going to want to take the easy way out in this situation. And it all started with the game against the Celtics in the regular season when LeBron James was putting on a full-on soap opera. I mean, you could have gave him an Oscar and an Academy Award for the type of display of acting that he was putting on, even though that he did get fouled on Jason Tatum, and it wasn't called. After that, the Lakers, they ended up leading the league in free throw attempts by such a wide margin, it's not even close. And at this point in the series, it's been overblown to such an extreme level. It's no way that people cannot see this happening. Right in front of your eyes. I mean, it was maybe about 10 to 8 calls in a row that went exactly in the Lakers' favor. Now, in the first game, it was 29 to 6 free throw attempts for the Warriors. The Lakers had the 29. Now, when things were even out in the second game, 17 to 16, the Warriors, they blew them out. But in this game, in game 3, it was 37 to 6 at one point. Now, it did end up being 39 to 17, but hey, the game was already way thrown out of proportion by the time that happened. When the Warriors started to get some calls. So I just think that LeBron James, the referees, and also Adam Silver, they're all in cahoots. And remember, in the last series, when the Warriors went up against the Sacramento Kings, it went 7 games, but it was definitely the highest viewed out of all the series in the first round. I mean, I didn't see LeBron James in that series. Now, LeBron James, he still is a great player. But in my opinion, I just think that the NBA, they have been definitely pushing the Lakers to such a high extent to the point where it becomes unwatchable. Now, as far as the Warriors and can they win this series playing this way, I don't know. I think that it would honestly have to take for a perfect game, each game for the rest of the series. Because to me, the way that the refs are calling it, I just don't think that it's going to end up well for the Warriors. I mean, if anything, Steph, he might have to drop 50 plus points every game in order for them to get the series victory. And to me, I just can't see it at this point. Unless the refs start to call things right and call it fair. I think that the league, they really want to see a Lakers versus the Celtics type of situation again in the finals. But to be honest with you, if that was to happen, I don't think that anybody's really going to be watching the NBA finals like that because we already know who is definitely going to win that finals. We know because of what we have been seeing since the Boston Celtics game in the regular season. And just remember, the Lakers, they are last in drives per game in this postseason. So just remember that when you're watching the Lakers play. This is an actual statistical fact. Cannot be denied. And as far as LeBron James fanboys, and as for you, LeBron James fanboys, it's crazy how you guys become statisticians and context masters. But when the context is thrown in your face, you vanish or it's not acknowledged. And when it comes to the media, when it comes to Undisputed, First Take, First Things First, it's clear that it's all about LeBron James. Every day, it's LeBron James talk, LeBron James this, LeBron James that. And it's no objective anything. I mean, to be honest with you, I would be shocked if I was to hear that LeBron James did not play well in Game 3. And if anything, the game was actually won on D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Davis playing well, having nothing to do with LeBron James' impact. I would be shocked if I was to hear that. But no. What I would probably hear is the celebration of LeBron James for how he played. Even though we saw him jump over the fans when he was out of breath, going to go take a minute and a half after that situation happened for a break to sit down. He didn't have the energy, and it was clear. He was obviously trying to conserve it because he didn't shoot for the first quarter. So it was just crazy all the way around. But as far as the media, on the other hand, they're not going to tell the truth. They're going to say LeBron James had a great game. But it's obvious that he didn't. And when it comes to and the best thing for the NBA to do at this point is to just let LeBron James go. Let the storyline go. Let him get old on the Lakers and let him do his thing. And promote the actual stars in the NBA that are doing well. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Trae Young, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Green, Tyrese Halliburton, the Warriors, who are still playing well at this point, the Sacramento Kings with De'Aaron Fox as a bonus, Joel Embiid and James Harden. But stop with the promotion of LeBron James. I get it. I understand it. He passed Kareem. He definitely was one of the greatest players ever. But let's not sit around and not act like what we're not seeing isn't there. And what we're seeing is a terrible quality of the game of basketball. So that's my perspective on this Game 3. Hopefully this level of officiating doesn't happen throughout the rest of the series. So that's it on my perspective. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. And remember, let's not be inches, feet, meters, nor yards. Let's be miles ahead. Have a good one.